pretty
Talking about
stubborn.
being easily beaten, going on to CSM. We know we've done a pod on it about 6 weeks ago. We never published, but congratulations on the job. I know it's a bit late for that now, but
Thank you.
Bana nil, CSM Sunday 1. Rick, very frustrating, very stressful. I say stressful. It was weird, wasn't it? The ball just wouldn't hit the back of the net. But how was it to have your first? Well, I know it wasn't your first competitive match as manager, but you probably your first proper game because you've had a pre-season now. You've brought in a few players. How did you find it? How did you find it?
Oh God, I was still racking my brain after them, but chances didn't hit the back of the net. I've never had. Well, I mean, I've watched Spurs for so many years and watched them have games against some teams like Wolves where they've had untold chances and Wolves nick it 1-0. Fortunately for me, that I've got a quality striker like Gilroy that knows where the net is. I mean, for 80 minutes beforehand, I don't think he did, but it was surprising. I mean, watching pre-season, we've scored probably more than 2 goals in every single game, barring one of the pre-season friendlies. So to watch chances go begging, it was just like it was going to happen, but it was just when. But then when time went on, the other team were getting deeper and deeper and not allowing us to play. But other than that, it just even when they dropped deeper, we was still creating chances. You've got players like Mark, Dax breaking up play, Kenny when he's on as well, breaking forward, George coming on, picking passes that certain people can't do. It obviously did get difficult with certain players that didn't play on that game, which obviously I've had words and apologise. It was a tough game and it is tough. It's probably one of the toughest calls I've had to make. It was difficult because I couldn't. There wasn't a player that I felt could come off because everyone was playing so well. But it's not a case that I'll never use that player. I'm getting good. It's a good team vibe compared to probably one of the best I've been in, and it's quite nice to have that sort of team bond, especially when Gilroy scored. Even though I was sort of celebrating on my own, like more in relief than anything. It was good to turn around and see all the boys bundling on to Gilroy after he just scored pretty much the winner. But yeah, I spoke to you a few times, Rob, in the game, and it's just frustrating. Certain subs I felt changed the game and gave us a bit more of an advantage. But yeah, I mean, the goal came. I'd take a 1-0 win than a 0-0 draw. So I mean, it does give us a sort of in a positive light. People will probably underestimate us slightly a bit more. Reason being, I think where the team got beat 13-2 last week, the scoreline does flatter the opposition, and there's no offence to them at all. I just felt we was the much better side. But yeah, it was. I'm looking forward to the season. I was a bit worried considering Boris Johnson's announcement. I don't know what the future holds at the moment in terms of football. I don't think a lot of the country know either. A lot of especially in Essex at the moment, sort of asking for a tier 2 lockdown. Yeah, it's at the moment, obviously it depends how things go. But yeah, I mean, I think if we play like that every week, but hit the back of the net, I think we'll do really well, in my opinion.
It was very refreshing to have Dax back. I think he just brought that a bit of quality into midfield. I think Doran must have been the most frustrated out of us all. He could have had 3 or 4, especially in the first half. He's hit the target. It's just been cleared off the line. But in the WhatsApp group, people were saying after, joking, how many can Gills get this year? Realistically, Rick, how many do you think he can get this year?
The thing is, he's playing more where he played for Hamlets in the last couple of years. He plays on that left-hand side. He does like to cut in, but his work rate is unbelievable. For someone who's 30-odd, just don't stop running. He nicks the ball off you. Like when you don't expect it, he's nicked the ball and he's passed it. He's made the right pass. He makes the right movement, and he gets goals. He can get a lot for us. He can easily be the league's top goal scorer. If only he can improve in his timekeeping, probably be a bit better than that. But I mean, at the end of the day, he gets you goals from situations where you don't expect it. 1-on-ones, probably one of the most lethal strikers in the Hackney Marshes. People may disagree, but I think probably in terms of the strikers I've had and played with for a long time, probably the best. He's definitely up there as one of the best I've seen. He can grab goals, but when you've got Benny Max, again, timekeeping, if only if that could improve, him, Gilroy, John or Doran, Charlie Parker, when he's up there, I think he gives us something a lot different. He gives us a bit more that creative edge because he can drop deep, win the ball, and bring our sort of the wide men there. I think John Watson as well. I've known him since he was a kid. Always been a good player. Played at a very, very high level, and you could tell. Scored a great goal a couple of weeks ago in a friendly. I mean, in terms of the balance, we've got a lot of players fighting for different positions. It's difficult to turn around to say to someone, sorry, there's no room in the team this week. I've had conversations with a few, but it said there was an issue where I had to bring someone in, naming Tom Clancy, who come in and actually had a quality game, in my opinion. Could only thank him enough for turning up on very short notice due to certain people's personal reasons. But it's a strong squad. It's about keeping the right balance. And yeah, there's certain players that may not get a chance this week, but when they get a chance, or even a case if they turn up just to watch, you never know what's going to happen. One of the players had to drop out last minute because he didn't get his COVID test results back to come back negative today. So certain players may not start in different positions, but I think the depth in the squad is good. But obviously, where it's Sunday League football, it's not the Premiership. I'm not paying them to play. They're not. If they turn up and don't play, then obviously it can create an issue. But at the end of the day, I can only manage what I've got, and going forward, hopefully, in the next couple of years, I would like to see like a roll on, roll off system. I think it's needed. It's grassroots football. It just make it a bit more, not as in fairer to players on the bench, but it gives you a bit more option. But I think that's one thing that probably I think the Hackney Marsh is the only league to have a limit on subs. It used to be 3 up to a couple of years ago. It's only changed just recently to 5. I mean, in terms of other leagues, I think it's roll on, roll off. There are advantages and disadvantages, but I think in terms of the modern game now, we have to go with the times. It can't be held back because of certain views. But again, it's up to the league to decide whether it's right for them or not. And if it's not, it's not, and I have to manage it there. But I think it would make a difference to the league, in my opinion, and it will stop frustrated players leaving clubs and going elsewhere, or not being able to play a good amount of minutes for a club.
Yeah, I'd like to even touch on the unsung hero. I feel, when we was back in the day at Loft and we were like 19 years old, Andrew was always just a bit of a meme. We always took the mick. He always had the mistake in him. We never trusted him. But I've got to say, like, even I went away for 2 years and I've come back, and Andrew has just come on leaps and bounds. He has been absolutely unbelievable. I know he has the odd mistake in him now, but who doesn't? As you said, this is Sunday League. This is not Premier League. I've just got to say, like, what's your thoughts on him? I just genuinely, like, even at the start of the pre-season, we were still worried about him, but every week he's proven us wrong.
I mean, he probably, if you are watching this, Andrew, in terms of, we had a list of certain players that we weren't sure of, and yeah, he was on the list, and I was sort of looking at obviously how he played last season, into other seasons. I think this season he's come on strong. I think he knew that maybe this is the time where he was fighting for a position and has improved on his game a lot. He made a good pass on Sunday. He's trying to add certain things into his game which he never had before. He's training with a quality side, with our own Saturday side as well. So the right coaching, if he's coached at the right level. I mean, myself, I was coached from the age of 11 onwards, so you sort of get the understanding from the game, as much as people joke about, oh, like my injuries. Yeah, I've been unfortunate. For me, I think pretty much in terms of 11 aside, I don't think I've got the legs for it anymore, and that's the honest truth for me. But with Andrew, I think if he was coached at a younger level, maybe he would have been a better player than he is now. I mean, he definitely has improved. He proved with the first season of Downs in the Hackney&Leyton League, and sort of had a shaky season in the second season, but then left the club, come back stronger. This season, I felt that he's come on leaps and bounds. He's up there with being a very good centre back. Yeah, as I said, everyone's got mistakes. We wouldn't be, if we didn't have mistakes, we wouldn't be playing on a Sunday and on a pitches like Hackney Marshes. Let's be fair. But at the end of the day, I think fair play to him. He's focused. He's switched on. He listens to people around him now, where I felt that he didn't really listen. So I think he studies a lot more football in his own free time, which is completely fine with me. I think, yeah, he definitely, if he, as you said, when he's with someone that talks to him through the game, I think he's better. When he's sort of left in his home with someone that's probably a bit more quieter, sometimes that's where he feels like he needs to be the voice, and sometimes he gets in his own head. But at the same time, he's got that motivation to get out of that rut now and perform in a better standard, in my opinion.
Well, I think we'll wrap it up there. Shout out to Mark, man of the match. Very well deserved. Well done, Gills, on nicking the only goal of the game. Rick, thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me.
Good luck for the rest of the season, even though I'll be standing next to you on the sidelines. But
I'll see you Sunday.
I think that's a threat. So, hey, I'll